Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So this is the second part of the tutorial where I'm going to work with the client-side technology using the Next.js, use SWR and make our component reusable using the hooks. Okay, so let's try this. And definitely if you miss out any video, just check this video, which is Next.js 13 migration guide from React Next auth using the Prisma ORM and API endpoints. And definitely check this backend video, full stack Next.js plus Prisma ORM MongoDB backend development from scratch, where I built the backend. As you can see in the API folder, in the products folder, we have the index file, and here we can see this is the post method to add any product to the database, like with its image, property, title, price, category, and we make a function so that this we can take these values from our request.body using the client side, using the Next.js client side, and we're going to return all this response after we add this product to the database. Okay, and also we have make a get request get all the products and give me all the responses in this products variable, and I'm gonna show that as a response. And also we have added the delete feature. We're gonna get this delete using the request.query function, and we can also delete this as well and return us some response. So in one file we are doing post, get, delete, all of those things, and we already tested it in this video. Okay, in this video this is completely perfect. So we're gonna work with add now, and then we're gonna fetch it and we're gonna delete it very easily. Let me work with it. So npm run dev. Okay, make sure you're on the correct folder. As you can see, it's a full stack Next.js Prisma project folder, and I will upload the GitHub code after this is completely done. So let me just open this localhost 3000, and here I'm gonna make some folders, not in these pages. Just go to the root pages, and here I'm gonna make hooks. Here I'm gonna make some important hooks. One hooks is use add product hook. Okay, so .js. This will help us to add the product to the database. Prisma, as you can see, Prisma ORM, and it takes some fields like image, title, price, category, description, and description is optional. Image is also optional, but you need to add title, price, category, all of those things. Okay, so these things are really important. And we're gonna make one more hooks to fetch our product, which is use get products. Okay, .js. It will help us to get all the products from the database. And also you're gonna add one more hook, which is use delete product.js. This will help us to delete our product. We're gonna use these hooks into our client part, which is inside these pages. So API is our backend part. Now we need to work with our frontend part, which is API, this pages folder. Inside this pages folder, just open a new folder called products. Okay, this is our main products page, and we need to create index.js. Okay, and we're gonna create a new file here, be our home page. Okay, this should be our home page or our main product page. So let me give it all the products. Okay, I'm also name it products page. Please make sure you just export this properly, and if I go to a pages /product/index.js, you will see this products page. So you need to go to, as it is a file structure, Next.js is using the file and folder structure for routing. We need to go to products, and we don't need to go to index.js because index.js is like the root. So if you just write pages/products, it will just redirect you to index.js file. Very simple. As you can see, you are seeing this content. Let me zoom it so that the mobile users can see it. As you can see, this is working just fine. But make sure you just fetch all the products from the database here. But before that, we're gonna add something. So we're gonna use add product.js. Okay, you can use JSX. Let me use a JSX because this should be a component, and this should be better if you just name it JSX. Okay, so this should be add product, and you don't need this. And also in this page, you don't need to import React because this is already a React library, and you just name it add product. Okay, this is add product, and I'm gonna name it add product. Okay, but as you can see, this is not named as similar to index.js. So if you name it different thing like add product.js, then you need to go into this directory as well. So you need to go to the pages, then you need to go to products/add product. Okay, so let me save everything and make sure it is export this as default as add product and just save everything. So API/product/add product. So as you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, we are going to add products page. But if it was like index.js, then you don't need to write this add product. Okay, so this is the main basic of this file folder structure routing for the Next.js. And we're going to use one more library called use SWR to fetch it, and for that we need to make a loader. So let me create a libs file, lib folder, and in the lib folder we're going to name it fetcher. It should be fetcher.js. Okay, this will be simple helper function, and I'm going to import axios from axios, and make sure you install it, otherwise it will not work as well. npm I axios, this is a very nice data fetching library which is very famous, and I think you are really comfortable working with it because this is extremely useful package for data fetching. You can also use fetch as well. We're going to implement this, both of them as well, in this particular video. So npm run dev to start the server again. Okay, now it is installed. Let me check it. Import axios from axios. Yes, it is there. And I'm gonna add this fetcher, import fetcher, and it will take URL as a parameter, and this fetcher takes URL parameters, and after that it will just give us axios.get, and it will get the data from the URL that we pass inside this fetcher. And then what you're gonna do, then it will take the response and it will just return response.data, because if you use axios, all of your response data would be inside response.data. So I am again writing response dot. As you can see, it is giving us all the fields. Like if you want to check the status code, if it is 200 or it is adding some data, for adding we use status code of 201, and you can check the request type, request status code, and the main thing that we need actually the phase data from the database. So that is the important thing. And now we need to export it. Export a default, it should be fetcher. Okay, define. So it is done properly. Now we need to make our hooks, and it should use add product. Okay, we'll implement it first. So in this product we're gonna use import use SWR from SWR, and this is also not installed, so we need to install it. SWR package npm I SWR package. So I think this will really help you to understand how we revalidate the cache, update the cache, and after delete how we can remove the cache, add the cache, different kinds of way we can do this. And run dev. This part is really important. I think you should really understand what I'm going to do here, because this is reusable component, a reusable hook, and you should really focus on how you can build it and add it many purpose. And if you have thousands of type of endpoint, you need to make hooks so that you can reuse it. That is the ultimate practice, how you can do better at it. Okay, so let me refresh it. Okay, it is working fine. So we need to use add product. We need to export it. We need to build export const, and it should be use add product. Okay, it should be use add product, and it will take a path or a URL, like it will go to backend URL of API/products. So if I go to pages API, as you can see, our API is API/products. Okay, then we will reach this post method, and we're going to pass this information from our client. Okay, so use add product. Here first we need the path. Okay, and we're going to pass the data in another function. Okay, so this is very important to understand. User just pass the path at which endpoint they're going to pass this data to, and we're going to create another function. You'll see shortly why we need that. But before that, we need to just import mutate, and mutate is coming from use SWR. Okay, as you can see, it has so many things. It has mutate, it has is loading, is success, lots of things. But at this moment we need to import this mutate, and I'm going to pass the path at which path we need to mutate, because after you add the data to the database, you need to mutate the cache. so that it gives us the latest information in the home page. Okay, otherwise it will not be real time, so we need to update the cache. That's why you need to mutate this part. Now we need to create our main function, add product. Okay, this will take some information, this will take some product data. Okay, and do this and make sure this is asynchronous. Okay, here we're gonna write const response is equals to await fetch. We're gonna use the normal fetch library you can use, or you can use axios as well, but let me use axios because this would be a better option. Axios.post, and in axios.post it needs two parameters. One is path, or which path you are just putting this information, and also you need some data, which is this data. Okay, you need this data because you are putting all those data. Data is equals to data, you can pass this similar way. Okay, but I'm just doing it simple. Data, these are the information that is coming from the client side, will be added into this and it will post this data. Okay, and if you use fetch, it would be different. Okay, it would be like fetch and from this path, and it should take method of post, because this is a method post, we are adding some data. And in the headers you need to write content type application/json, and in the body, and if I just write body paragraph here, and you have to write json.stringify and the data. Okay, if you use fetch API, you need to use this, but I'm gonna use this normal axios.post, and then we're gonna check if response.ok is not defined, then you're gonna throw new error, could not add a product. Make sure you spell it right. If response.ok is not there, it means that there is some problem, and this is the opposite of it. Response.ok means there is some problem with the response, then it will throw could not add a product. And you need to import this muted. Okay, we just call it muted, and you need to just return this because we need to use it in some other places in our client component. So you need to return add product, but you cannot call it here. Okay, if you call it, it will just trigger here, but we don't need to do that. We will trigger it in another place. So now everything is done properly. Now we need to export it. We already exported it, as you can see, export const use add product. We just need to use it. Now we need to import it here. We just created use add product. We need to import it inside this add products page. Okay, so let me design it a little bit so that you understand how we can design it properly. Here I'm gonna use the ChatGPT so that I can make the UI really fast. Product upload form in Tailwind CSS with image. We can just do it with title, price, category, and description. Okay, so make a product upload form with Tailwind CSS with title, price, category, description, all of the thing, and submit button. Okay, so it will give us the form that you need in this page. It has given us some form, and let me copy this code and paste it. So let me just edit, take a fragment, and here I'm going to take a div, and here I'm going to paste this. So now let me check it. Okay, price, title, category, description, everything. This is for the title, this is price, category, and this is for the description. One more thing we need is for this text gray. I think the label should be text 100, so it will look much better, and this should be text 100. Class BG blue 50. Okay, now it looks better, and make sure it is H screen. We want the background color of blue, it feels light blue, and now I think it looks much better. And in the top I'm gonna use one more h1 tag to add product. Okay, and I'm gonna add a simple class name of text for Excel, margin top of 3, padding of 4, and text center, and font serif. I think, as you can see, now it looks much better. You will add title, price. Here we'll select category, and now we need to make sure you select proper category, which is electronics and smartphones and computers. Okay, so these are our categories. Now we need to make sure we now we need to add some handler. Okay, so for that we need to get some function to use this state. First we have the title, and we need to have the set title, and I'm going to use state and make sure it is empty. I'm going to do it for rest of the form, for the title, for the price, for the category, description, all of the thing. So I have taken image, title, price, category, description, all of the thing. Of course it is coming from the schema. Okay, these are the fields. Then I need to make sure. So if we go to add product, and here in the title, in the input, here on change, I'm gonna write set title e dot target dot value. Okay, make sure this is e dot target dot value, and you can copy this stuff for price as well, and this should be set price e dot target dot value, and I think you should make sure it's a number. Okay, this should be a number 120.25, and this should work just fine. And you can just make it as text. Okay, and we will convert it into float later, and you need to add it here as well. On change, you should just select this category, and okay, price is done, category is done, and now one thing left. One is description. Set a description and submit. And for submit, we need to add in the form on submit, we're going to paste handle submit. Okay, e dot prevent default, and here I'm going to trigger this function. Now I'm going to do it console.log submit. Here we'll trigger a function so that we can add these values. Okay, so it should be, and later we will understand this should be asynchronous. Okay, but not now. Now I need to check if it is working or not. When you click on the submit, it should trigger something. So let me check the console.log and refresh everything, and add some data there, add some data, submit. I think it should be e.prevent default. Okay, so now it should be working. As you can see, there is no refresh, and we get this submit text. So now it is working just fine. We just forgot to add e there. Okay, so make sure when you just handle submit or anything, in the form you need to add e.prevent default. This is very, very important. I need to get this data as well. So now we can work with our main function, which is use add product. Okay, so we just returned it, as you can see, but we didn't call it. We didn't add this thing. We didn't call it. We need to work with this, and we need to pass some important data so that we can pass inside this axios.post as we are passing this data. Okay, so what we can do there, let me check that. I use add product. We're gonna import this const add product. It should be use add product, and here we're gonna pass a path at API/products. Okay, when we go to API/products, if we go to backend API/products, and if we hit this post method, it will add this information to the database and it will return as a response. So this is the thing we want, and here we're gonna pass this data to in the add product, and we're just passing it, and we're gonna mute it. And this is the function that we are talking about in the add product. Okay, and here we need to use it, add product. In the add product, we need to pass some information. So let me check it, and this is the data, and this should be our product data. New product. So this is the product we are passing, and it should be object. Okay, so this we need to pass the title, we need to pass the price, and we need to have a field for image as well. So let me copy one more field for image as well. Should be an image. Okay, and it should be set image. Okay, so first we need to have an image, then title and price, and then we have a category, and we have a description. And make sure price should be converted into float, first float price. Okay, so whatever the user put, it should be converted into float, and then we can pass it. So this is an object, this is the information they need to pass inside this add product. So make sure if when I create this use add product hook, which is the thing that will add some product information to the database, we have taken this data. Okay, we need to pass this. Make sure I'll do it later. I think if you do this like this, it should also work. So we're gonna check it. Okay, so we are passing this information, the product information, into this function. Okay, and it should add this information to this API. It should go to router.push. We need to import one more module, which is router is equals to use router, and we can use this thing. After it is successful, we should go to router.push and go to our root page. Okay, and API/product, this is our root page. It should go to that page. Okay, so I think this should work just fine. So we need to make sure we await it, because and we need to add async here, because this is an async wait function, because we are adding some data into database, so it will take some time. So async wait is super important here. Okay, and our title should be Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Its phone price is $1,200.69. Suppose select a category, it should be smartphones, and description should be a dummy description. You don't need to worry about it. It should be any description. Add it, and let's check our network response. As you can see, products could not add a product. So we need to check it out why it cannot perform this. The problem is with the response. So let me check it out. So our payload is perfect. So I think there is some problem with it. So let me use the fetch this path, and we're gonna use this method of post headers content type application/JSON, and here I'm gonna pass the data as something from our axios from to fetch, and fetch is working just fine, and after that it should go into this API/products page. Okay, so you just name it as products page. It should go to products page. Okay, so after it is done, so here I'm gonna pass some data, which is our Samsung S23 is $1299.99, and select a category of a smartphone and give us any description. And let me check. If I go to network request, as you can see, it is already done. It is complete. After that, it has gone to this URL API/product. So it is working just fine. The product, as you can see, we have the two information with image, title, price, category, all of those things. And this was the previous thing that I have added to check it. Okay, so we have two database. So we have two products in this database. Now we need to fetch it. Okay, so fetch is very simple. All the complicated work is to update and add and make those hooks. Then we need to work with use get products. Okay, so this is almost similar to this. You can copy this, use get product, but here we, instead of add product and mutating it, we want to do that. Okay, and we should name it use get all products, or you can get products, and it doesn't need any parameters. Okay, you don't need to have any mutation, because when you get some product from the database, you don't need to add mutation. Only adding, delete and updating needs a mutation, otherwise you don't need to do that. Okay, we just make this hooks use get products, and we need to import something. First one, we need a use SWR. We need to import it. So let me import it, and you can use this as well. To import SWR, from SWR, and you need to import Fetcher. Okay, Fetcher, and this will fetch the data. As you can see, we have already created Fetcher.js, and it is collecting this URL in the parameters, and it will give us all the response.data that we have. So this is the thing that we're going to work on, and here we're going to pass /API /products. Okay, so from this endpoint it will get us all the data, and we need to collect it into here. Data is loading, and if we have some error, you can do this, you can pass this information. Okay, only this line will do the work, but make sure you need to add this feature, because this feature also takes this URL as its parameter. Okay, so if you go to Fetcher, it takes URL, as you can see, and based on this URL it will axios.get this data. So make sure in Fetcher you need to get this URL from use SWR. This is its first parameter, and from this parameter it will get its URL that we will use to fetch the data, and this is everything fine. And we need to one more thing, which is revalidate on focus, which is false. This is very important. Once I show you the demo, you will understand it much better. Okay. Then we need to return the data is loading, and this data that will be coming from our actual response, if it is loading, you can show error message also. Now we need to use get products, and here we're going to use in the index page, in the products index page, and here we're going to fetch it. Here we need to import something, which is our data that will be coming from use get products, and it doesn't need any parameters. And here we're going to pass this data. We're going to ally set products. They should be all our products, and we will handle is loading state and error as well. Okay, now we need to our products page. This will be our index page, all products page. Okay, if we go to add product page, here we can copy this thing, okay, and paste it. You can make it reusable. It is completely up to you. I know you are really complicated. I know you want to understand Next.js properly, so that's why I'm really focusing on Next.js, SWR and Prisma as well. Okay, use SWR from SWR, redefined it. So we have implemented it twice. We cannot do that. Okay, so I think it will work just fine. So this is our products page, and we need to call this thing inside this UI component, which is our main products page. Okay. Here we'll need to have a div and class container, and this should be mx auto, margin top of 5, margin and padding of 4. I think it will work just fine. And here I'm going to add one more div, class name of grid calls 1, and if we were in large display, it should be grid calls 3 column, and if it is a medium screen, it should be grid calls 2 column, and in the smaller it should be like that. And it should be items center and margin top of 3, margin and padding of 3 as well. So here I'm going to write products.map each product, and we're going to return it. And we need to create a component so that we can reuse it later, and this should be components. Okay, components, and here we're going to create one more component, which is product.jsx, and it will take product, okay, this product object that is props, so that we can render it. And here I'm going to pass it products, and definitely it needs a key, which is product.id, and the information prop, which is product. Simple. You have done this millions of time in React. This is nothing fancy here, very simple. And here we just need to show some information, and first information I want to show is the title, and we'll check if we get the data. It should be come from product.title. Okay, as you can see, we have two product and this title has arrived. And make sure you just design it properly. I'm gonna use a similar design pattern. I'm just copying it and pasting it here. Simple. So this should be our product image, should be like this, and in the another div we will have our title, price, and its category. Okay, and then we have a simple button that we can click on it. So we're gonna handle it later. Let me check it how the UI looks. Okay, so this looks really awesome, and we need to make sure this background is little bit of white, otherwise you won't see anything. Okay, make sure in the product and make sure this button looks a little bit beautiful. It is looking really bad, and this should be PG 600. Okay, okay, now this looks much better, and make sure this text looks better. And for that I need to make sure is text of white, and we need to add this. Just don't use gray, or you can use gray 200. Okay, this 200, this is for the category and this is for the price. So now it looks much better, and I have added this clothing, which is not true. We need to add a different thing. Okay, and if I go to add product, and this should be smartphones. Okay, then it will work just fine. If I add one more product and without any image, I just want to check it. Let me check. So yes, it is added, as you can see, with this information. And now it is time to delete this product information. Okay, now I need to work with our use delete product, and it will be almost similar to this, and you can remove axios from here, and almost similar, and it should be use delete product. Okay, and it will also take a path, and we should not use this anymore, and it should mute it, because this is a delete. You should mute it the path. Okay, and it should be deleted product, and it should return delete product. Because we're gonna use this, we will not call it here, we're gonna use this thing inside our UI component. Okay, when you click on this button on that handler, we're gonna use this thing. So that's why you need to create a function inside this use delete product hook. Okay, and this will take an ID, because if you want to delete something, and make sure it is async await as well, you need to just you don't need to pass body or headers, and method should be delete, and this would be your path, and your path should be something like this is your API/products, and here you need to pass ID as a query parameters, and it should get it from this ID, and we'll pass it from our client side as well. Okay, so make sure this part is important. I'm zooming it for you. This part /path/ID API/products/ID, so it will be like /API/products instead of slash, it should be this question mark ID. This is your query parameter, and this should be your ID that will pass in this function. Okay, this should be your path, and your ID should be this. Simple. And its method should delete, because you will delete something. Okay, if there is some problem with the response, then we will say something went wrong, and you need to mutate it again. you need to mutate this path so that we get the latest response, we get the latest product. After you just delete it, you should directly instantly delete from this page, and you'll just revalidate the cache so that we can see the latest content after it is deleted. Now I need to work with this delete product functionality, and we're gonna import these hooks inside our implemented. Use delete product and remove it from our index page. We don't need that because this is our root page. We need to go to each component to delete it, and here we're gonna use it. And delete product will take some time to delete, so it should be async await. And which product to delete? This ID, and this is the thing that we need to pass. Okay, so now we need to work with our handle click function, and here in this button here on click, we'll just use this handle click or handle delete, and it should get the information, this ID, from product.id. Simple. So we get this product.id, and we'll pass it from here. This ID would be gone inside this, and based on this we need to call this delete product functionality inside this use delete. And as you can see, we have just exported it and returned this thing so that we can use it inside this component. As you can see, in this product component, each product component, which is this each product component, so that when we just click on this button, we just need to handle this delete and get this data from our UI component. When we click on this, as you can see in the parameter, and we need to delete it, and we will pass this ID, and it will delete just fine. Okay, so let me check it if it is working or not. So let me just work with it and use delete product. As you can see, it is deleted instantly and revalidated the cache. So this is really awesome. So one more thing I want to check. So if we go to our network tab and just refresh it, as you can see, we just get this response products. As you can see, ID1, and here we get all the detail. We get the array of information. Okay, so if I go to another page and go to another page, it is also there. It is not refreshing. But if I don't add this thing, like in use get products, if I just revalidate on focus is equals to true, then let's check what happens. As you can see, it is calling again and again. If you go to this my page and again come to this page, so it is recalling this page, so it will call it multiple times. If you don't add it, if you don't make sure you add this to false, when you just go into this page again and again, it will just call this again and again and again. But at this moment, as you can see, it is just calling at just one time. If we go to another page and come to this page again, it is just calling one time, not more than that. But if you just keep it revalidation and focus is equals to true, it will refetch again and again and again, which will really hinder your performance. Okay, so for that you need to use revalidation and focus false. You can have lots of other properties. You can check revalidation on mount false, reconnect, you can use false when your network is disconnected, and after you connected it, it should refetch again. Okay, if you want that functionality, you will just put it up to true, but I just set it to false. Okay, so this is much better, and I think this works just fine. Okay, so you are getting all of this data. So this is the complete tutorial that I want to show you guys how you can add some product information dynamically using use add product hook. Also, you can delete it, okay, from delete product hook, and pass the path which path you want to delete it. And also you just make a function so that we can pass this ID or whatever information. Like for add, we have passed this data parameter data information from the client, and for delete I have passed this ID from the client on button click, and for add product I have used it on handle submit. And use get product is just simple to get all the information using the SWR, and fetcher to get all the information from the backend and show it on the UI. Okay, so this is the complete package, how you understand how you make this good functionality using the hooks way with SWR in the Next.js and with the Prisma as well. So So the both client side and the backend side is completely finished. I think now we'll understand I think now we'll get a complete grasp of knowledge in terms of building a full stack application with Next.js and the MongoDB. You don't need to work with separately for React and Mongo. You can easily work with Next.js, Prisma, and with different kind of hooks and component structure, and its file-based architecture, and its routing system, and its pages and API backend system, API endpoints, how you can manage all of those tools together and make a complete project with it, so that you can manage all the things by yourself and build a complete project by yourself. So till then, take care, bye bye. I'll see you in the next video.